So Wendy, first of all, thank you for taking the time to make a comment. I appreciate your right to have an opinion. And with all due respect, none of this is personal, none of it. This is exactly the problem, is that people who believe the science-based way are brainwashed, for lack of a better word. So you're right. Unfortunately, you're misrepresenting and misunderstanding and misguiding people about positive training. Nope, I'm not. I've seen your videos, and what you're doing might be loosely considered training, but I don't think so. What I think it is just hoping. In the world of science-based, positive means adding and negative means removing. Yep, I'm familiar with the quadrants. Believe me, I get beat up with them a lot. So adding a shock pinch is positive punishment, and withholding a reward is negative punishment. Yep, I got it, irrelevant. You are mislabeling a whole group for your own benefit. Nope, it's for the dog's benefit. And to attack the far left thinkers. Okay, Wendy, again, with all due respect, dogs don't think left wing or right wing. Dogs think like dogs. They think like nature. So dogs don't understand politics, they don't understand political correctness, and they mistake kindness for weakness all the time. Biggest difference between training and behavior modification is blocking a behavior or changing the way the animal feels about the situation. Well, blocking a behavior requires that you do a hell of a lot more work. And what I say to people is, if I bring my son to your house, because I'm doing an in-home with you, and we're busy training the dog, and out of the corner of your eye, you see him take $20 out of your purse. Now, I believe by the purely positive trainer is they would just move the purse. And my way of doing it was, how about if we teach the little bastard not to put his hands where they don't belong? That's the difference. I don't understand why people don't see the difference between trainers and behavior constants, because you're brainwashed and you only see one side of it. So again, I have two videos here that are of your classes that you published on your website, or your Facebook page, I'm sorry. And again, if you're having fun and you're doing this stuff, great. I have no problem with it, no problem. But don't call it obedience, because it's not. It's a series of dogs being bribed and people doing more work than the dog to get minimums instead of the dog giving maximums. So without further ado, here's the videos. So I like the colors and the emotionalness of it, but it's not training. This is someone who's walking at the pace of the dog, not the dog walking at the pace of the handler. This is a dog who most of the time looks like it's not having fun at all. And you really see the human is doing far more work than the dog here. You know, this is a thing about rally obedience, and that's fine. Rally to me is the lowering of the bar to make people all included. There's a lag, there's you know, a beg to a happy dog now. I mean, there's so many edits in here that show the dog constantly in a lag, unless your client is really getting excited, which is not obedience, it's bribery. So that being said, it's really difficult to get someone who's so deeply romantically involved with promoting the business and purely positive. This kind of obedience is completely unreliable out in the real world, completely and utterly. If there's something the dog wants more than the owner's motivation, it's going to go to it. And if there's something that the dog is afraid of, it's going to run away rather than stay with the owner. So this is not obedience. This is, I don't know what this is. Someone with a dog who's, yay! I don't have time. I could never certify a police dog, a search and rescue dog, even a therapy dog. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get a CD with this kind of training. I couldn't get anything because the owner is constantly coaching the dog. And just for any kind of competitive sport or in real life, you don't get a second chance. Dog's running towards the street and you go, come, the dog has to stop going after the squirrel and turn around and come back. If it doesn't, then it's going to die. So we're playing for the dog's life. And again, I'm thrilled that you like what you're doing, but please don't call it obedience. Okay, so here you have tricks, obedience, rally, and conditioning called torch or torque. This is your rally. This is something that your business made up so that you can give your clients titles, because they wouldn't be able to get titles in other places. They'll get lucky at the lowest levels, but no one's going to get a Schutzenb. No one's going to certify as a CD or a UCD with, or any kind of competitive obedience with this. And if you took it outside, it would all disintegrate. So again, it's a great way to make money and tell the people that you're brainwashing that we've had to lower the bar by opening our own brand of competition where you're not really competing and everybody gets a trophy and everybody's thrilled about it. Great. But remember, please, that I see the worst dogs in the world. And I would love, if you're only in Maryland, if you want to come up and I'll show you some of the dogs and you can show me how to work with them. You'll probably be missing some fingers, but these dogs that I'm working with and Dylan's working with have gone through purely positive training. And the problem with this training is that as long as the dog's getting what it wants, the dog's going to look fine. Everybody's fine when they're getting what they want. When they don't get what they want, that's when we have a problem. Again, true temperament is measured under stress, not optimum conditions. We have another Canines in Training movie. A lady who was talking about your training and a dog. It's a borzoi, he's running around like a nut. And then we've got this lady who is singing your praises, which is fine. Again, if she's happy with your services, that's wonderful. She's got a treat bag, she's got a treat in her hand, and the dog is, dog seems to be having a good time looking for the treat. If you can't see that when the dog doesn't get the treat, it leaves, that's a problem.
Literally cries the whole way here in the car, drags me into the building.
So the dog drags you into the building, that's not obedience.
She gets up and just starts doing this stuff by herself.
Does herself by herself, that's offering, that's not obedience.
Here he is.
Begging,
Here he is.
begging, excitement, begging. The human is doing all the work and the dog is doing nothing. So
basically, this is a borzoi, and probably most people haven't heard of that, but take my word for it, it's a breed that is not very biddable.
yeah,
And the fact that this dog loves this crap.
it's a sight hound and it loves, because you're a Pez dispenser. That's why.
She loves it, man. I'd have to sell the house to be able to keep coming here because she just has to.
Well, I think it's kind of highway robbery that the lady's paying for training and she's not getting training. But if she's happy, give the people what they want. Just don't call it obedience training. And here's some wonderful music of this lady doing successful things with your titles, not a certifying body. Tricks and look at this. This lady is guiding the dog with the leash. All of these are corrections, by the way. And she's bribing, and she's correcting, and she's motivating. And this is actually, if she didn't have that leash, I don't believe the dog would follow her, which again, is not obedience. Again, she goes back to singing your praises. And let's just see. Let's just see here. Treats, treats, treats. I see a lot of nothing. And the dog getting a lot. Now, here's the outtakes, okay? The outtakes to this are insane. because what this does is exactly prove my point, that your video editing skills hide a lot, and that you have a client that's singing your praises and cannot get her dog to sit reliably. Now, to get the dog to sit reliably, I'm not suggesting or implying that you have to beat the shit out of the dog to get it to do that. What I'm saying is that the human is becoming the servant. Can you sit? Can you sit? Can you sit? Can you sit? Please sit. Okay, it's okay if you don't have to sit. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's going to get dogs killed. That's what I'm talking about. So I'll let the rest of this video play out and let everybody watch.
Record everything. Record everything.
All right. Can you sit, please? Oh my God. I'm leaving her already. Can you sit, please? Can you sit, please? Can you please sit? Oh my God. Come here and see how you get your dog to sit here. Sit. Thank you. See, that's an excellent sit. Sit. Oh my God. That's so much fun. Sit. Oh. Sit, please. Yes. She doesn't like the hard surface. Sit, please. Sit. Sit. Thank you. Good job. Girls can have so much fun.
Muse needs to be higher, doesn't she? Should we get 2 clients? Another client? Or no?
Are you still adjusting? No?
Whenever you're ready.
Can I just introduce the dog? Excuse me?
This lady's paying you money. She's singing your praises, and in a strongly edited video with her doing all the work, you're masking and conning people into believing that this is obedience. This is not. This is just people goofing around. And at the end, in the outtakes reel, you just make my point for me. Look, I understand that you're having fun, and I understand that you love dogs, and I understand you want people to have fun. It says fun a lot of the times, but none of this is going to save a dog's life when it's headed for traffic. None of this is going to stop a dog from being afraid when something scares it like fireworks. None of this is going to help a dog understand what obeying means, and that's dangerous. My analogy is this. If I came to you for training and this is what you gave me, this would be like me going to a restaurant and paying to get in, and then I have to go buy the ingredients, cook my own meal, set my own table, bust my own table, do the dishes, and leave a tip. The dog is doing nothing except eating, and the person is doing all the work. That is exactly the problem with purely positive training. That misguided, completely detached from nature assumption that has anything to do with nature. It just doesn't. Thanks again for your comment, and if you want to rebut to this, please feel free. Just keep it civil. I appreciate it. Thanks.